Microsoft warns 250 million jobs will go. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Still working through my morning coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article, or a few articles from Yahoo Finance, discussing, well, a dramatic warning from Microsoft that 250 million jobs will be gone. It's a big number. 250 million people are set to lose their jobs this year. And what this is showing us, everyone, is this is not just localized to Australia. Not that anyone thought that, but that the global economy is in trouble. And for us, that's a little bit of a concern, a little bit of a consideration. I'll just bring up a website here to show a few of you that if you're perhaps not regulars may not have seen, although if you're regulars, you certainly have, the Observatory of Economic Complexity. And I need to update my link because it's not working. But you can see here, Australia, we're not a very complicated country with regards to the complexity of our economy. That's to do with our manufacturing and our exports. We export a lot of primitive things. It doesn't require significant economic complexity. Most of the advanced things we use in Australia are imported. You know, there's no way you can get an Australian-made silicon chip. So you can see here, this is what we're exporting: coal, iron, gold, petroleum. We're the biggest iron ore exporter in the world, one of the biggest gold exporters in the world. We export a lot of coal. This is why the hippies always say, oh, you know, your carbon footprint in Australia is a nightmare. It's because they count our exports. They don't take them off after when other countries use it. And we're heavily dependent on China and Japan and South Korea. We're heavily dependent on Asia. So if the Asian economy takes a hit, we're going to feel it, guys. It's going to ripple through to Australia. We're not isolated. We're not isolated. And that's not counting as well other industries that have just been completely decimated, like tourism. $60 billion worth of our GDP. I mean, yeah, it's not doing too well at the moment right now, everyone. There's a reason why unemployment is high. But the thing is, what's interesting here is that they're talking about this being, well, a worldwide phenomenon. We're entering a global recession. Brad Smith said the globe faces a huge jobs challenge, requiring millions to upskill to get a new job or keep their current one. But he added, even this doesn't take into account internet inequality. It's true that the nature of work varies widely around the world. Not all jobs can be digitized, particularly in the developing world. We live in a world of internet inequality. If we don't do something about it, we're going to exacerbate all the other inequalities that we all worry about. This is a task beyond any one company or any one government. If we can reach 25 million people, we will feel like we're doing our part. Microsoft recently revealed a plan to help 25 million people help reskill for the digital economy. I mean, this is the thing. This is literally the embodiment of the learn to code meme. Learn to code meme. You know, I mean, if you've been let go in your job, what are your plans to reskill? Do you have plans to reskill? Are you hoping it's just going to jump right back? You know, if you've been through this, guys, let us know in the comments. What have you done to reskill? You know, share your story. Share what you've learned. There was one person in the comments who, in a previous video, when I discussed how I bought a piece of equipment and essentially, you know, burned 10 grand on an attempted trying to turn it into a business. He'd lost some money on crypto, took the last part of crypto out, and then used it to buy ZBrush to learn a new skill, you know, to make money off that. Smith said one of the steps needed to build a recovery was expanded access to digital skills. To help address this, today Microsoft is launching a global skills initiative aimed at bringing more digital skills to 25 million people worldwide by the end of the year. This initiative will bring together every part of our community, combining existing and new resources from LinkedIn, GitHub, and Microsoft. Microsoft president noted that women, young people, people of color, people with disability, and those with lower educational attainment bear the biggest brunt of the downturn. And the pandemic has shone a harsh light on a widening global skills gap. But here's the problem, everyone. Here's the problem with the wonderful advantages that, you know, globalization in this regard can bring. I, as an architect here in Brisbane, we've been competing with some of the larger firms to win jobs. We often used to have our staff working for us. We have our premises. I've scaled right back now. Part of the reason is because I would be competing with firms that wouldn't hire anyone in the country, anyone here, and would offshore it all overseas. So the cost of me getting one student to work, manage, pay all the extra cost, deal with the HR and the BS. I need a coffee. You could probably get 2 architects overseas. And sure, there was a difference in working capability. Particularly if you got someone from the Philippines, I was always told you'd have to consider them to be 10 years younger than their actual age. Because some people have never worked in an office environment, and it takes time for that culture to change. But they were so cheap. So I would struggle. I'd be told my fees were exorbitant. Really high. Because I'd want to make a profit, or I'd want to break even hiring locals to do the work. There you go. And that's just the challenge in business. That's the problem that this has. So, your cost of living, if you can work digitally and live in a cheaper country and do work to other parts of the world and get paid in US dollars, then you're set. Because it means you've got a fantastic quality of life. But if you're here competing on that stage, you're going to have to work a bit harder and a bit smarter. But it still opens other opportunities. Sometimes maybe earning a bit less, but having the flexibility and the freedom is worth it. Or doing a little bit of a side gig, doing some work on the side, digital work that you can do online on the weekend or after hours. It can help bring in some extra money. So this long-term disconnect between supply and demand for skills in the labour market appears to be driven by 3 primary long-term factors, he continued. There are rapid growth of AI technology, a growing need for technological skills, and a drop-off in employer-based training and investment since 2000. Navigating these challenges to close the skills gap will require a renewed partnership between stakeholders across the public, private, and non-profit sector. LinkedIn in June revealed the 10 skills most in demand, and we'll have a look at that in the future with the majority tech related, including blockchain, artificial intelligence, and workflow automation. However, according to Swinburne University Director Dr. Sean Gallagher, it will take more than tech skills to succeed in the future. In increasingly digital environments, we need to be increasingly human in order to be able to compete and to work effectively, Gallagher said. Well, people skills are important everywhere, even online. So let's have a look at the 10 job skills in demand according to LinkedIn. I thought this would be quite interesting. So 10 rising job skills you'll need to learn for the future according to LinkedIn. So Australia won't escape the robot revolution. So what skills will we need to have in order to stay relevant and ahead of the pack? Most of the skills of tomorrow's workforce will be tech related, although some non-tech skills stand out according to LinkedIn's 2019 Future of Skills report. LinkedIn identified 10 rising skills, so-called because they've seen exponential growth in the last few years among professionals and will potentially see wide-scale adoption in the future, the report said. And the lack of talent with these skills is alarming. The skills that got you to where you are today aren't going to be the same skills you need in the future, LinkedIn pointed out. Now, I disagree with that. Well, you need to look at talent stacks. You need to look at your talent stacks. Scott Adams speaks about this in length in many of his videos, and one example he puts forward that is a fantastic combination of different talent stacks. It's Trump. He's a fantastic marketer. He's a fantastic public speaker. He's entertaining. He's got a unique combination of talent stacks. He can persuade people. He can work a crowd that comes together, puts him in a fantastic position. You've got other people too. What are your talent stacks? What are you trying to improve? Is it public speaking? Is it selling? Are there particular skills? You're good at a piece of software. You're good at engineering, good at calculations. Good at driving. For instance, where the skill of software engineer management ranked highly in 2016, but came down the following years, skills like artificial intelligence, big data, and cloud computing have climbed up the ranks in recent years. So here are the 10 skills to brush up on if you want to be hireable in the years to come, according to LinkedIn. Number 1 is compliance. Jobs that use this skill: Chief Data Officer, Compliance Officer, and Risk Management Officer. Sounds like fun. This skill involves ensuring a company is compliant with regulatory and legal requirements. Well, that'll definitely be, well, with the increased encroachment of the state on business, I can see how that's going to be in demand. Social media marketing, I still find it a joke, but then again, I'm just old. Digital marketing specialist, marketing manager, social media marketing specialist, professionals who are social media marketing guns can effectively promote products and services through social media platforms to drive business goals. Continuous integration. Jobs that use this skill: a DevOps engineer, a full stack engineer, a software engineer. So those with this skill are able to integrate code into one shared repository in order to detect problems in real time. Workflow automation. These are all sounding like learn to code, aren't they? These are all sounding like learn to code. Consultant, project manager, and software engineer. This skill involves automating manual processes based on predefined rules. Gesture recognition technology. A mobile engineer, researcher, and software engineer. These are all software things. Blockchain, artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, human-centered design. That might be the little graphics artist one there. And a front-end web development. Well, there you go. Do you think Australia leads the pack in any of these? Do you think we have a culture to, we don't even have a Silicon Valley. What are all the, you ever been to one of those maker spaces or those places in the city to kind of innovate businesses? So, Australians are particularly good at social media marketing, human-centered design, and gesture recognition technology. Meanwhile, Singapore is where you are to look for professionals with blockchain skills, while India is the hotspot for robotic process automation, and Korea, Japan, and Taiwan take care for professionals well-versed in artificial intelligence. So I don't have tech skills, am I doomed? Certainly not. The World Economic Forum highlights the 10 skills that will be redundant in 2020 and 10 you'll need. The latter list includes several singular human soft skills that can't be done by robots, such as analytical thinking, creative and initiative, complex problem-solving, leadership, emotional intelligence, and reasoning. According to the Impossible Institute co-founders and change leaders Dan Gregory and Karen Flanagan, there are 12 skills you'll be honed to bulletproof your career. Well, we'll have to see. I mean, what do you think, guys? This sounds like a plug for a whole lot of different learn-to-code skills. Can everyone learn to code? Can everyone learn to code? I mean, it can help once you automate, once you learn how to code. I built a whole database management system for my whole business. It means it allows me to generate reports and fee proposals much quicker than I used to, in minutes to what would take me hours. That was a valuable skill. I've invested in my terrestrial scanner. That means I don't need an assistant to go and do any measure-ups, and I can generate a lot of the drawings myself. One of the reasons why we've been able to scale back our business is that we've invested in technology and equipment that has allowed us to do that. We'll have to see. I've been trying, my goal has been to learn to code and make a computer game for years. It's never happening. I really need to pull my finger out, at least make something simple. But you know how it is. Life gets in the way sometimes. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the channel below, in the comments below. What would be your advice to someone who's worried and looking at how they can shift into digital world? Thanks for watching, guys. If you're a fan and want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, and Kucoin. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, support us using PayPal, or via PayPal. I've already said that. Take care, guys. I'm a bit tired today. I'll see you later.